Alright, just gonna step off one of these streets here off Bayshore. That way you guys can hear me a little better. It is a little breezy today, and I'm using my new GoPro 11, so that way you can actually hear me. Because I know my previous videos, some of them, especially the first ones, were a little windy. Again, I'm not a filmmaker, I'm not a professional movie content creator, but I do have experience, and experience is best taught through life. You can't, I mean, you can read about it in history books, college, you know, public schools, private schools, but the best way to learn is to experience it. So again, I'm gonna give you my own personal experiences, you know, traveling to multiple countries already and states, and being an immigrant myself. Again, I was born in Kingston, Jamaica. You can check out that episode. And I lived there until I was 9 years old. And actually, when I was a baby, my mother migrated to the United States, like most mothers. As an adult in history and facts, I actually see the reasons why parents, families, and mothers especially leave their home countries to migrate to better countries, in a sense. Jamaica actually has a pretty rich history. You know, obviously you have the native people there. They're called the Tainos. I actually have ancestry, Taino blood in me. And Panama and Costa Rica, some native blood in me. I'm actually mixed, as you can tell. I took an ancestry DNA test about 15 years ago, you know, for personal reasons, but it actually shows you on the globe and percentage based on your DNA what your racial makeup is, in a sense. So I have Egyptian, North, Western African. I have Mediterranean. I see Italian on there quite a bit. The United Kingdom, British. I have Scandinavian as well, interesting. And I have Costa Rica, Panama, and obviously Jamaica. So I can give you my own experiences and perspectives, and then I'm going to add some factual content to that equation and some history, because you got to know where you came from before you know where you're going. It's very important. And there's three sides to every story. I believe that whatever he says, she says, and there's the truth or the facts. So we all have our opinions. We can say and do as we please in a free democratic republic country. But you need facts to back up those opinions. And if you have problems, you better find and present the solutions. So again, people tell me all the time, hey David, you know, you pretty cool guy, you know, you've been through a lot, and I just think you're awesome, and you should definitely share your stories. Why don't you write a book and help others? So I gave this some thought over the years, and again, more and more people keep telling me that, so it kind of stuck. I'm like, all right, maybe I should. And so I like to break things up into chapters that we all can relate to. Obviously, you see me traveling to these different countries, and I like to present a positive and productive theme, right? But I also know that there's negativity out there. So there's a constant battle between positivity and negativity, right? That's just the law of nature. That's how the entire galaxy encompasses. We wouldn't be here without that. Positive and negative. And so, as humans, we're actually one of the youngest species on this planet. And I presented that with the Costa Rican episode. You watch that, you see me, there's American crocodiles. They're actually living dinosaurs. This is a factual, proven truth, right? So they outlasted many other dinosaurs that passed away, and you can research why. The point I'm getting at is we're a very young species compared to the other animals on the planet. So in a sense, we're still learning, even though some of us think we know it all. And so I put history, facts, and then I make a judgment. And religion as well. I understand that there's some people, matter of fact, the majority of religious people in the world, most of them are Christians, right? And then secondary, you have Muslims. And then third, believe it or not, is non-religious. They don't care about religion. They live a balanced life based on their history and facts, and they just believe that religion, in a sense, is not their path. And so I cannot force things onto people if they don't want it, right? So, and that's the key. If you notice, when people volunteer for things, they're very productive. When you force things onto people, and ideas, and beliefs, and slavery, they perform poorly. So we live in a free society because of the ones that died and sacrificed over the centuries ago. Here in the United States, it's, about 240-ish years old, so it's a fairly, young country compared to others. When I say that, I mean, for example, the Native Americans, right? So the Native Americans, and they're still here, by the way. They've been here for thousands of years, and they actually practice a belief that worship many gods. So they worship the trees, the sun, the plants, the sea, the eagles, the birds. And it's been very sustainable for them, right? So up until you have Judaism, that was, if you guys remember, the Moses and Abraham. And around the holidays, a lot of us that are religious, I grew up with my grandparents, and they were born in the early 1900s. One was Sephardic Jewish, my grandfather, and my grandmother, she was a West African origin, Moorish, strong African woman. So as a baby and as a young boy growing up, I had my grandparents that raised me, my mother's side. And they had differences, obviously, one being Jewish and one being Christian, mixing with some African traditions. My grandmother was an African Jamaican woman. My grandfather was a European, Middle Eastern, or excuse me, well, yeah, I guess you can mix that, but mostly European, Sephardic Jewish man. He came from a very wealthy family, one of the oldest families in Jamaica, and married my grandmother, which also one of the oldest families in Jamaica. an African Jamaican woman. And I saw how different they are visually. One white, one black. And they loved each other most of the time. And I saw that. I saw the love that they had for each other, being that they're different on many levels. So the point I'm getting at is, yes, we have different religions and beliefs and race and categories, but at the end of the day, we need to find a common ground, because obviously in this world now we see a lot of conflicts. In a sense, I try to bring positivity. I show you the beauty that God created for us to enjoy and to treasure and to protect. And I'm actually a war veteran. I've been to Iraq and Afghanistan. I'm not supposed to be here today, but I volunteered for the military as a boy. I grew up as a kid wanting to be a soldier. We all want to aspire to do things as kids, you know. We learn, but we're all born clean slate, right? So when you're born, you have no memory, or you have no perspective on life and things. So either your parents, your grandparents, aunts, uncles, whoever taught you. And so as you age, you develop, your brain learns things. But then unfortunately as adults, we like to put people and things into categories and then even create biases. So yeah, my grandparents, they showed me love. I have a lot of respect for that. And so my goal is to share with y'all that love is the key. Love doesn't discriminate. All are invited. So yeah, I wanted to pause and mention a little bit about myself and my history, because in these videos I kind of showcase, you know, different scenarios and places, but I want you to know who I am. I am a man that been through a lot. I've seen a lot. I've seen the worst of humanity at war. So we have a choice. You wake up every day, you have two choices. You wake up to be productive and to do good unto others as they've done unto you, or you can wake up in every day and do the total opposite. And so again, for many centuries, humans worship many gods, polytheistic. And then up until, I would say, 1300 BC, that's when, you know, Moses went to the Egyptians and said, "Let my people go," and provided the 10 Commandments. And then that's when Judaism and later Christianity and later Muslims was created. Fairly recent. Let's just say, what, 3,000 years ago and some change. But remember that for thousands of years before that, the ancient Egyptians, the ancient Mayans, the Incas, they worshiped many gods. And so my question is, what is more sustainable? Is it the ancient philosophy, thinking of balance and loving your surroundings? Or is it the monotheistic religions that says worship one God? And my religion, this is it. Again, I tried to give you perspectives. I want you to think about that. Do your research. And so Abraham, you have, you know, these three main religions: Christianity, Muslims, Judaism. Judaism is actually less than 1% of all the religions in the world. Christianity is the largest. And we all know the story of Christ, what he had to go through and sacrificed. He was a very earthly, genuine, loving man. And so we should think about that before we pass judgments onto others. So yeah, I just wanted to take a little break, but this is another episode. I'm back in Florida, and I'm in Tampa. I'm going to show you guys around some attractions, restaurants, things to do and see here in the area. And like, share, and subscribe. Give me some positive feedback. I mean, you can give me negative feedback all you want, but I wanted to keep this clean because there are kids watching this. I don't want to, again, put things into categories and say, oh, you can't watch my videos because... No, I want everyone to watch this because it's our story, right? And so I'm showing the good, the positivity, right, of our story versus the negativity of our story. And again, I'm a war veteran, and who can say that both of their grandfathers, my paternal grandfather was a World War I veteran, and my maternal grandfather is a World War II veteran, and I, Iraq, Afghanistan, war veteran. So who could say that? Not too many people these days have that perspectives. So I know what war is. I've seen it. It's basically men that refuse to compromise. And so they go to war and they destroy each other and things, and millions of people get displaced because of a few people that can't agree to disagree. So they destroy everything. I want you to realize and understand the repercussions of that. War is not a walk in the park, all right? It's not a joke. But it happens, you know, all throughout history. We've had wars, and a lot of them were started by men. I'm a man. But I realized that women, they tend to sit down at the table and they have a conversation and they listen and they compromise. The key: compromise. In a relationship, no one party is going to have everything that they want. If that's the case, stay single. Relationship is about compromising, because now you're a team, you're a unit. So that philosophy still stands with anything, a country, a region. You know, I've been to Iraq, I've been to Afghanistan, and the conflicts now in the Middle East. It's one of the oldest regions of humanity. I've been to Egypt. You can watch my Egyptian episode. And that area, then you have the Middle East. Matter of fact, that was actually called, or part of, Northeast Africa. I want you to research that. So the entire Middle East was called Northeast Africa. Matter of fact, you can walk from Africa, the southernmost coast in Africa, if you choose, or drive, and cross through the Sinai, which is in Egypt, into Israel and Iraq. You can walk. So yeah, this area has a lot of meaning for a lot of people, and I get it because of the monotheistic religions, and of course the Egyptians were there as well. Very beautiful place, by the way. It really touched me when I was there. But so now there's a war going on over there, and no one's winning. Because in the war, no one really wins. Okay, I'm back because my GoPro camera, I guess the battery got too hot and shut off. How rude, right? But Yeah, so I just wanted to sidestep a little bit and comment about just a general perspective. And then obviously we got some conflicts currently here in November 2023 around the world, but it all can be resolved. But we still have an issue with compromising, and we choose war over that. And so we definitely need to improve on that as a species, because it's not productive. It's like counterproductive, right? You take 2 steps forward and then another step back. So imagine if we fix that issue, and we have the money and we have the intelligence and the tools to fix it. I just think some of us don't want to fix it, so we stay stagnant. And so I would love for us to, evolve as a species and learn from our historical content and mistakes, and go with the facts and history, and just say, hey, we're all one. Yes, we're different. We look different. Imagine if we were blind, we couldn't see anything. And there's people like that currently. They're blind. They can't see anything, right? But they don't discriminate. So it makes you wonder. So we can see, but then we discriminate. So walk by fate, not by sight. All right, so we're just gonna explore Tampa. Take you guys with me. Like, share, subscribe, and have a jobless day. I'm gonna continue to bring you positivity and to the beauty of the world, while you see the negativity on the news. And I don't even watch the news anymore. What am I getting from it? They're all telling me the same thing. The world sucks. We're against each other. And we're doomed. So it's not a good retention tool. And especially with, again, with the monotheistic religions. I mean, okay, so God gives you 10 commandments. It's just 10. It's not thousands of commandments. It's only 10. So what's the confusion in following these 10 commandments? What's the difficulty? Insanity is continuing to doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. We all can read, most of us, and learn from history. And so we know what's right and wrong. So God has given us 10 commandments to follow. So follow it. Well, what do? Some of us, we're like, nah, screw the 10 commandments. We're just gonna do what we want to do. And so I think the greatest threat to humanity is mental illness. Until we can resolve that issue, we'll continue to go in circles over and over again. Born, raise, discriminate, hate, die. Born, raise, discriminate, create biases, die. It's a very sad way to live. So I watched a video last night, actually, and that's what kind of motivated me to create this content, because you guys all remember the movie The Terminator. Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's actually the governor of California. He wants to run for president, but he can't, because according to the United States Constitution, you have to be a natural born citizen to run and become president. And the only way to change that is to have a 2/3 majority vote. So there's some fine people out there, including, like myself. I joined the military. I wasn't a citizen. I wanted to do it anyway. I was here you know. Even if I was in Jamaica, if I'd have stayed there as a kid and grew up, I would join the army in Jamaica. My grandfathers did. They fought for the British back then. But yeah, so I'm gonna share this clip with you. And it really hit my soul. Arnold Schwarzenegger. And a very powerful speech that he gave. And so I'm gonna share it in the link below. Watch it. And just think. If we can just solve our mind, you know, there's a great saying that emancipate yourself from mental slavery. No one but ourselves can free our minds. Very powerful. So that is my viewpoint, being, you know, avid traveler, different countries and places, cultures and everything. I zoom in on the issue. So here's my solution. You fix the mental. You fix the minds of people. Imagine if we were born and we knew exactly what to do. Or what not to do, right? So until we get there, I'm sorry folks that are progressive and that are trying to create a better world for each other. We're gonna always have this issue, right? And there's actually people that wake up every day and want to do harm and cause destruction unto the majority. So you have the minority of people. They're the ones that cause the majority of problems we have in the world. It's frustrating, I know. Being, you know, a man that has been to war 3 times. And God's like, you know what, David? Good job. You're not done. I have something else to show you. I want you to help your fellow men and women, your fellow brothers and sisters. Let them see that God is good. And yeah, we're all gonna die anyway. I mean, what a sad way to go if all you think about is hate, evil, destruction, and totally disregard. That's actually one of the commandments. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not covet. I hope y'all got some food for thought. And I don't want to just travel and show you, you know, the pretty this and pretty that, because we're not perfect. I want to show you the raw, authentic truth. And do your own research. Don't take my word for it. Siri, Google, internet, research, find the truth within you. It will make you a better person. And then before you die, you better give back. You better give back, because when you hold things in and you keep it in, it's a weight. It's painful, you know. It causes you to have second thoughts about you know, life. Should I be here? What's the purpose of being here? But you have a purpose. We're all God's children. I believe we're all born with God in us. We're all born with God in us. As we age, pieces of us get pulled apart. And so some of us become lost and frustrated and ignorant and hateful and want to cause harm on everything. They want to sink the ship. They want to get on the plane, right? And cut off the engine with innocent people in it. Again, I've seen the worst in humanity. But then I've seen the good in humanity. So I choose to do good. Till next time, God bless.